Sup everyone, this is Draco Evolve here, back again with some latest Manchester United transfer news today. Latest Manchester United transfer news now. And for those of you joining in new to my channel, I bid you welcome. My channel is all about Manchester United, whether it's included rumours, transfer news, speculation, press conference, match reviews, previews, reactions, as well as some football manager, my journey with United at the moment, so do go and check them out. And it's got some gaming content in there as well. But today's video we're going to be covering Haaland, latest on Haaland, Erling Haaland, latest on Paul Pogba, and latest on another player called Boubakary Soumaré. And all these players has been linked with United as we go into the January transfer window. We're like almost just over a week away. I will be covering as much as I can going into the window. But first up, it's about Erling Haaland. So we all know that Erling Haaland is an exceptional player, exceptional teenage sensation coming through. He has trained with Oli on his younger days, and so he has an affinity with Oli as well. And we all know that he is most likely going to move from his current club, which is Salzburg. There has been a host of European clubs after him, and there's been a lot of intensity around United. I think he was pictured taking a flight, although Oli did mention in his press conference when asked that he is on a holiday. First he retracted that, then he said he's on a business holiday. Like, what is a business holiday? He had a bit of a smile on him. So, and he also said that he knows where Erling Haaland will end up at, which is quite interesting, because one of the front runners were RB Leipzig. So they were the runners in for Haaland, who is an affiliated club with Salzburg, I believe. But anyway, this is what the article reads. RB Leipzig's head of soccer, Oliver Mintzlaff, has revealed they are struggling to compete with Manchester United in the race to sign Haaland from Salzburg. Haaland is wanted by a host of Europe's leading clubs after a sublime start to the season in front of goal. United are said to be leading the chase as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer looks to bolster his strike force in January, and the interest is making it harder for clubs like RB Leipzig to get a good deal done, it is claimed. So the article goes on to say, if I can just go, so RB Leipzig have confirmed they met him. So they said, yes, we met with him. We are interested in the player, great interest. Mintzlaff told Sport 1 he listened to it logically and is very open to a move. He would like to change clubs in summer at the latest. It's not easy. There's Manchester United, Juventus, Dortmund. There are a few other clubs as well. Of course, our club also has a certain guardrails and limits, and I have named the clubs that compete, and there may be salary regions that we don't want to go into. The fee is still manageable, but the package does not only consist of the transfer fee. It's the same cliche again. We can buy everything and we can get everything and we can do everything. Unfortunately, we can't otherwise. Haaland will already be with us. Solskjaer has a major advantage over many Premier League rivals as he tries to rebuild United by having the final authority over transfers. It is no coincidence that three major managerial casualties this season, Pochettino, Emery and Silva, never appear to be in control of their club's transfer policy. But Solskjaer, who has targeted the Europe's hottest striker, Haaland, from Salzburg, insists that at United, who have no director of football, he has the decisive opinion. So, interesting article. This is not a speculation. This is confirmed, by the way. So, it has been confirmed by RB Leipzig sporting director, whatever you want to call him, Mintzlaff, that United, Juventus and Dortmund are in for Haaland. He did say that the clubs, he would like to change clubs in the summer at the latest, but that's at the latest. You know, at the very least, you never know, he might be coming in January. And he mentioned around the transfer fee, which is manageable, and if reports are to be true, his release clauses are around £20 million, if I'm correct. But obviously United are blowing everyone out of the water so far with the wage package, and that's the financial power of United, right? So it's positive news. I think we're heading in the right direction. You know, we have distanced ourselves as expected. Oli has said in many press conferences when asked that, you know, they only buy youngsters. He didn't mention Haaland at all. If a right player with the right price, with the right value comes into the market, he will be after him. But this is the first sort of concrete news that United are in for Haaland. But so there you have it. That's the news around Haaland. We're gonna check his stats just a little bit, just to remind everyone what his abilities are for those of you that's joining in. But make sure you smash a like button if you feel Haaland will come in and improve United. Personally, for me, I think he will offer something different. Martial's is like almost like a false nine, where he drops in deep and collects the ball, turns and runs. Haaland is pretty much a number 9, a pure number 9, who's up front, who's great in the air, and who can just drive. And he's built, isn't he? He's like huge, isn't he? Imagine a huge striker like Zlatan running at you at full pelt. And he's only like 20. He can obviously get better. But anyway, Haaland's stats so far: he's played 22 games and 28 goals. Now in the Bundesliga, people might say, oh, he's got 16 goals, it's not really, you know, a tough league. But you can't say the same thing for the Champions League, where he's played 6 games and scored 8. So overall he's assisted even 7. So he's a pure striker. As you can see, he's a centre forward, and he has played in Dortmund's lineup pretty much the whole season. He seems like a fantastic young talent coming through. I would love to sign him. He is a left-footed striker as well, which will help, which will bring a bit of balance to the force, you can say, because we have predominantly a lot of right-footed attacking players at the very least. I don't think there's many, apart from the left backs, which is you have to be naturally left-footed. Apart from that, not many players in our squad are left-footed, so which is a plus as well. Next up, we have news around Paul Pogba. So we all know Paul Pogba wants to leave United. We all know that, it's a fact, although he's been more professional about it compared to the likes of, say, Lukaku. So his agent has come out and had, you know, there's news around his agent saying this. So Real Madrid have told Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola that they will not be signing him in January. The Manchester United midfielder is desperate to leave the club, but according to Marca, Los Blancos do not see the winter transfer window as a logical time to do business. Pogba has 18 months left on his contract and has not changed his mind that he wants to leave United. The article goes on to say Madrid themselves are not as desperate for the move to happen, as Valverde's performance have stunned the Madrid hierarchy. Gary Neville has said on Sunday that he does not trust Paul Pogba's agent Raiola after he claimed the United midfielder wants to win trophies with the club. The Red Devils midfielder played his first game in nearly 3 months on Sunday when he came off the bench in a 2-0 defeat by Watford. Pogba has been suffering with an ankle injury since September and has also struck down with illness last week. So there you have it. That's the latest sort of around Paul Pogba, according to Marca. If that's to be believed, that Madrid are no more interested in signing Paul Pogba in the January transfer window, at least. A player called Valverde, who I've not heard of much, but I've heard last week, I've read a few things that he's been performing really well in next to Toni Kroos. So Madrid have kind of like made Pogba less of a priority, you could say. Yes, Pogba has 18 months left in his contract, which is not much, you know, time flies, you know, but we do also have a year trigger clause where we can, just like what we did with, I think, De Gea, we can trigger it and keep him for another year. Yes, Paul Pogba is a phenomenal talent. I think we should let him go if we get a adequate replacement for him. Someone like a Bruno Fernandes, who probably wants to play for the club more than Paul Pogba does. Respect to Pogba, he comes in and, you know, is professional. He has come on against Watford and he has played like 23 minutes and he's clearly by far head and shoulders above every other players. A couple of the balls he played through, we lacked that with McTominay and Fred. He's got a very good vision, and I think Oli should really consider him playing as a number 10, because at the moment we don't have a number 10. We play the likes of Lingard, Pereira and Mata rotate around that. Paul Pogba slotting in with that would be perfect, because you got Fred and McTominay just behind him, who seems to be his midfield preferred choice partnership at this current state. But let me know, guys, would you like to see Paul Pogba stay? Even though he's professional, you know, he's been here 3 years. 50% of the time he has been poor, 50% of the time he has been good. So there has been no consistency, and with an agent like Raiola at his back whispering things in him, I don't think it is a very good choice to have probably Pogba in our club. I will have him, I will get rid of him if we get a replacement in. If we don't get a replacement in, then no, I think we should keep him on because he's clearly our best player on the field. According to Pogba's stats this season, for those of you just, he's a central midfielder, obviously he can play up there. He's only played 7 games in total, assisting 2 goals. He's been out on injury since September. Then there was a week where he's illness, where he went to his brother's wedding and got ill there. A lot of partying, obviously. But this is the latest on Paul Pogba. I'm glad that he's back. I'm sure he will make a lot of differences. He'll make us tick, especially against low block teams who defend deep. We don't have the creative player or midfielder to unlock that defense, and Pogba can clearly do that. When he came on against Watford, he did that. He clearly did that. Imagine a full pelt Pogba. I think it will do us wonders. It will do us more good than harm. Let's face it. Jess Lingard, who has had a lot of off-field problems, he's just, with all respect to him coming out and saying all these things, but he's just not good enough to start at United. I'll go as far as saying he's not even good enough for the squad. Last but not least is news around this player. I've never heard of him, but Boubakary Soumaré. So Jose Mourinho has reportedly been given the green light by Lille to make a move to sign Soumaré next month. Last week, a number of reports claimed Spurs were interested in the midfielder, and now they have been given the go-ahead to make their move. L'Equipe via Sports Witness reports that La Liga 1 side, who are considering selling the midfielder next summer, are now ready to sanction his sale in January. Apparently, the emergence of former Swansea flop Renato Sanchez has convinced Lille to cash in on the midfielder, who rate in 50 to 60 million euros bracket. Now, what's that got to do with United? But I'll read the next bit. Only last week, I'm not going to even pronounce that, claimed that Spurs and Manchester United were in active discussions to sign the 20-year-old next month. Napoli, Real Madrid and Valencia are understood to have held preliminary talks with France youth international, who has 23 appearances this season. Lille was said to be content with the possibility of a deal that will see Soumaré leave the club in January and then be loaned back until the end of the season. But it now appears they are ready to sell the player, who is under contract until June 22. So I've never heard of many things around Soumaré. He is an enforcer, which means he's a ball-winning midfielder. He's a dominant midfielder. Yes, we do need someone like that. We lack steel. I think McTominay is not really an enforcer. He's more like a standard central midfielder. He hasn't got many great talents that stand out from one another. You look at, say, young players around the world who's on that age bracket. Yes, they play in midfield, but they might have a good passing range, or they might have a good tackling range. McTominay, I don't see that at the moment, and he has potential to improve, and he's working hard. He's clearly, you can see his physique, the way he's going on about in games, his passion, his fight, his desire is all there, and I think he can be a great midfielder. But it's also going to be good to have another midfielder, because we're very light in the midfield. Apart from Pogba, let's forget about that. You take away McTominay and Fred, who else do we have? We had Pereira, who's not exactly a midfielder. Ghana, 17 years old. He still has, it's going to take time for him to come in. And then you've got Matic, who's most likely going to leave by the end of the season. We do not have any midfielders. To have another centre midfielder to give a bit of competition, a bit of a rotation. Any injuries to McTominay and Fred right now will be a disaster for us. It'll be good to have someone like that. Personally speaking, I'm quite skeptical because I've never seen him play. I've never even heard of him until today's news. But if you guys have heard of him, do let me know in the comments below. What is he like as a player? Probably I'll have a look at him in my next Football Manager live stream, which is today in about a few hours time, if you're watching this video, by the way. So make sure you join in. Let's have a look at his stats though, because that's the one thing we can actually get. So he can play in defensive midfielder and a central midfielder, as expected. He's made altogether 23 appearances so far. He's played pretty much a lot of Lille's game, and he seems like a talent that's coming through in their squad. And I'm sure if he continues in his trajectory in making those appearances, I am sure that he'll get somewhere in the future. At this current moment, I don't have enough things to say about him because I don't know anything about him. But anyway guys, this was the latest Manchester United transfer news now. Latest Manchester United transfer news today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you excited to see Haaland potentially coming to United? Do you think it's all smokescreen? Are you willing to keep Paul Pogba at the club for the time being and find a replacement before we sell him on, or would you rather get rid of him and cash in because he might cause problems, him and his agents? And who the hell is Boubakary Soumaré? As always, guys, have a fantastic Christmas Eve, and I'll catch you guys in the next upload, and stay funny.